Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Lesson 3. Before we start, I want to introduce myself. My name is Miss Jaluk. I am a first grade teacher at Stanford Charter School for Excellence. I am excited to go on this week-long Journeys adventure with you all. Let's start with our phonics. Our first sound is the short O sound. Short O makes the ah sound. Ah, as in octopus. Can you repeat after me? O, octopus, ah. O, octopus, ah. Your turn. Our next sound is the L sound. L makes the L sound. L, lion, L. I'm going to say that one more time. L, lion, L. Now, can you say that? X makes the X sound. I'm going to say that one more time. X makes the X sound. Here is a picture of a box, and this is the word box. The letter B stands for the sound B, and the letter O stands for the sound ah. The letter X stands for the end sound X in box. Let's blend this word together. B, ah, X. Again. B, ah, X. Our letter X is at the end of the word. Now, let's try to figure out the beginning sounds of these 4 words. Let's do number 1 first. The word is log. I'm going to say that one more time. The word is log. What sound does the L make in the word log? If you said "ol," you are correct. Good job. Let's do number 2. The word is ostrich. The word is ostrich. What sound does the O make in the word ostrich? If you said ah, you are correct. Nice work. Let's do number 3. The word is fox. Now we are going to focus on the ending sound of this word. I'm going to say it one more time. Fox. What sound does the X make at the end of the word fox? If you said X, you are correct. Nice job. The last one, number 4, is the word ox. The word is ox. What sound does the O make in the word ox? If you said ah, nice work. You are correct. Now, let's tap out or blend the sounds. The first letter makes the P sound. The next letter makes the ah sound. The third letter makes the T sound. So, P, ah, T. P, ah, T. If you blend the sounds, what word do you get? If you said hot. You are correct. Great job. Now, let's figure out what these words are. Let's start with number 1. We are going to tap out or blend the sounds. So the L makes the L sound. The O makes the ah sound. The T makes the t sound. So L, ah, t. L, ah, t. What do you think the word is? If you said lot, you are correct. Nice job. Let's try number 2. The B makes the B sound. The O makes the ah sound. And the X makes the x sound. So, B, ah, x. B, ah, x. What word do you get? If you said box, good job. Number 3. The L makes the L sound. The O makes the ah sound. The G makes the g sound. So, L, ah, g. L, ah, g. What word do you get? If you said log, you are correct. Excellent. Now let's do number 4. The O makes the ah sound. The N makes the n sound. So, ah, n. Ah, n. What word do you get? If you said on, you are correct. Good job. Now, let's practice our high-frequency words. The word is sing. S-I-N-G, sing. Can you say that? Sing. These children sing with the music teacher. The next word is do. D-O, do. Can you say that? Do. The school principal has many things to do. This word is they. T-H-E-Y, they. Can you say that? They like to work together in class. This word is find. F-I-N-D, find. Can you say that? The librarian helps children find books. This word is funny. F-U-N-N-Y, funny. Can you say that? The art teacher drew a funny animal. Our last high-frequency word is no. N-O, no. Can you say that? No, you cannot cross until the cars are gone. Great work. Now, let's practice saying all 6 of our high-frequency words. I will say it first, and you will repeat after me. Let's start with number 1. Number 1, sing. Number 2, do. Number 3, they. Number 4, find. Number 5, funny. Number 6, no. Wow, you are all doing a great job. We are now going to go over 3 of our new vocabulary words for this lesson. This word is crept. Crept means moved slowly so no one notices. The man crept into his office when he was running late. The next word is snout. Snout means nose. It is another word for a nose. The pig's snout can smell everything. Our last vocabulary word is worried. Worried means concerned that something bad may happen. He is worried about missing the bus for school. Now we are going to read the teacher read aloud. The title of this read aloud is Stone Stew. If you hear one of the vocabulary words we just went over, put a thumbs up. Stone stew. Long ago, in the West Indies, a sailor wandered into a small town. He was hungry and far from port. The townspeople feared strangers and kept themselves apart from others. When they saw the sailor, they worried that he might be dangerous. The doors and shutters throughout the town quickly slammed shut. The sailor knocked on a door and asked for a bite to eat. "Better keep moving on," the man said. "There is nothing to eat here." "I'll have to make my stone stew then," the sailor said. Out of his bag, the sailor pulled a pot. He filled it with water from the town well and built a fire under it. Then, with great care, he took a stone from a velvet bag and dropped it into the water. The townspeople peered from behind the closed doors and shutters to keep a careful watch on the sailor. The sailor stirred his pot, took a taste, and licked his lips. This is delicious," he said rather loudly, "but stone stew with okra is even better." A boy sneaked out of his house and crept over to see what the sailor was cooking. Then he shyly approached the sailor. "Here is some okra, sir." "Why, thank you, son," said the sailor as he dropped the okra in the pot. "You know, I once had stone stew with okra and pork, and it was fit for a king." The town butcher came out of his shop with some salt pork and pig's snout. "Excellent," cried the sailor. "But oh, if there were yams, it would be much better." A woman soon appeared with her apron full of yams from her cupboard. And so it went with breadfruit, coconut milk, onions, and so on. Soon there was a scrumptious meal for the whole town. They all sat down together to have some stew. The townspeople were thrilled by the delicious stone stew and proud of their contributions. Never had they had such a feast. "Imagine that," they said, "all made from a stone." The townspeople offered the sailor a lot of money for his special stone, but he wouldn't accept it. So the townspeople gave him directions to the port. The next day, the sailor was on his way. To this day, the townspeople fondly remember the sailor and his wonderful stone stew. Before I continue, I have a question for you. What problem is the sailor trying to solve? That's right. He is hungry. The sailor is very, very hungry. Our target skill for Lesson 3 is sequence of events. Many stories tell about events in the order in which they happen. This order is called the sequence of events. The sequence of events is what happens first, next, and last in a story. You can use a flowchart like this to write about the events in a story. So let's look at the sequence of events in the story Stone Stew. First, the sailor wandered to a small town. He was very hungry. Next, the sailor suggested making stone stew and pulled a stone from his velvet bag. He made a yummy meal for the whole town. Last, the townspeople offered money to the sailor for his special stone, but he wouldn't accept it. The townspeople will never forget his wonderful stone stew. Our target strategy for Lesson 3 is monitor and clarify. You can monitor and clarify parts of a story when you don't understand a certain part. For this strategy, I make sure the text makes sense and clear it up when it doesn't make sense. So if a part of a story doesn't make sense to you, read that part again to clarify. So let's use this strategy when we read a text. For example, let's read sentences from the anchor text from Lesson 2, The Storm. What did Tim and Rip see? Tim hid in his book. Rip hid too. Did that make sense? Tim hid in his book? No, because in the picture, Tim is hiding in his bed. Let's go back and reread that sentence. Tim hid in his bed. Rip hid too. Now that makes sense. Tim is hiding in his bed from the storm. That's what's happening in the story. We cleared up the confusion. We're about to read the story Curious George at School. But before we do that, I want to talk about the genre of this story. The genre is fantasy. Remember, a fantasy means make-believe. Fantasies are stories with animals talking or wearing clothes. Fantasies are also stories with magical places or things. Curious George at School. If you have your textbook, you can turn to page 71. Curious George goes to school. This is George. He can help a lot. George can sing. He is funny. What are some ways the authors make George seem like a person? If you look at the picture, George is at school standing in front of his classmates. He sings at school and he plays at school. George is a monkey, so the authors are making him do things that humans do, just like us. He can see the paints. Mix, mix, mix a bit. Mix, mix, mix a lot. Before we move on, I have another question. On page 74, George is about to paint with his class. From what we read so far, what is George going to do with the paints? It looks like George is thinking on page 74. On page 75, it looks like he will either paint a picture or make a mess. Let's keep reading to find out. It is a big mess. George ran. What did he find? I have another question. Look at the pictures closely and look at the words in this story. What is the main problem in the story? Describe what George does to try to solve the problem. The problem is George made a big mess with the paints. George solves the problem by looking in the closet, and it looks like he can see a bucket full of water. Let's read on to find out if the mess gets cleaned up. He got a mop. He had a big job to do. No, no, It is a big, big mess. George is sad, sad, sad. It looks like George not only found a bucket of water, but he found a mop to clean. But why do you think George is sad? He is sad because he knows he made a mistake. He is worried about having to clean up the big mess. I wonder if George will feel happy at the end. Let's read to find out. Kids help him do a big job. They can help him a lot. He is not sad. It looks like George isn't sad anymore. What is the important event that happens on pages 80 and 81? The children help George clean up the mess. He isn't sad anymore because the children being helpful made him smile. What clues in the story and the pictures help you understand what the word help means? The children do what George is doing. They all do a part of the work. This makes the big job easier. So I know that help means to share the work to make it easier for someone. Wow, you guys did awesome today. I am so proud of all of you. Have a great day. Bye.